So today we have a soft skill class, which is very, very, very important in our daily lives as well as our career progression. I think along the line, or when you look at the timetable, you will see that we have soft skills and hard skills. One can ask, what are soft skills and what are hard skills? Can someone answer for me as a teacher? I have to teach. Can someone tell me the difference between soft skills and hard skills? If you want to talk, you can unmute yourself and then you talk. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, so I'm asking whether someone can differentiate between hard skills and soft skills. Those who cannot.
Okay, I think to my understanding,
yeah,
hard skills are the technical skills needed in a job. For instance, if you are a teacher, then the content, the pedagogical skills, or if you are maybe an engineer, the skills used for the job, the engineering skills, those are the hard skills. Then the soft skills are the interpersonal skills, the way you communicate, the way you interact with people and all this. Yeah, thank you.
Yes. Can any other also express your understanding, if you understand, the difference between soft skills and hard skills?
Hello?
You can meet yourself and talk, yeah.
I think like an example of hard skill kind of things, hard skills are kind of technical, like specific abilities that you learn through education, training, and experience.
Okay.
And then they can perhaps maybe the way we measure them and we can think of that they are teachable. Those are hard skills. Often maybe they are job related, as maybe the previous speaker mentioned. Can easily be quantified in a sense that, for example, like programming languages like Python, Java, etc. Data analysis using software like Excel, I don't know, SQL, Power BI, mechanical skills, accounting, financial, graphic design, or I don't know. Those are kind of hard skills. So as opposed to the soft skills, what we have seen previously, soft skill kind of interpersonal or people skill kind of like attribute quality that allow us to interact effectively and efficiently with others, communicate, navigate in a social way, and then avoid some situations. For examples of soft skill like communication skill, leadership, teamwork, problem solving, critical thinking, maybe flexibility, emotional intelligence, I don't know, some kind of creativity or innovation and so on and so forth.
So that means that we even know what soft skills are and what hard skills are. So we don't even need this class. Anyway, soft skills are interpersonal skills. You know, they are skills that we need. It is common to, or it must be evening or common to each and individual, despite the fact that you may have different skills from each and other. But everybody needs that soft skill to be able to navigate in his or her professional career. So soft skills are interpersonal skills. They include collaborative skills, clarity, communication, etc. So what are the essential soft skills that we need in our career goals or career development? Can someone give me one of them? What are the common or essential soft skills that we need in our career progression?
It's already in our screen. It's looking at us.
Pardon? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, Auntie Joyce, he's saying that you are already showing some of the essentials.
Okay, but don't look at what I'm showing. It's a discursive class, so don't see what you are seeing. Don't say what you are seeing. Let's brainstorm and see whether we know what really the soft skills are. So what are some of the essential soft skills that we need in our career development?
Teamwork. I would say teamwork. We need teamwork.
Okay. Any other?
Problem solving.
Problem solving skills. Okay. Any other?
Creativity.
Oh, then I should close this class. So there are essential soft skills that we need in our career progression. The first is communication. Communication is very important in everything that we do, even with the hard skills. The hard skills are peculiar to individuals' background or where you want to branch to. As a teacher, mine hard skills includes the content of my work or the skills related to the content of my work. But there are similar soft skills that everybody must possess. That is, the first is communication skills. If you have command or you can communicate effectively, it helps you in your career progression. So in communication skills, we should have active listening. When you are talking about communication in your career progression, effective communication is essential to build strong relationships with colleagues, clients, stakeholders, etc. So if you are able to communicate effectively, and you know that you can navigate within your scope. So example of communication skills that we need to possess includes active listening. We have to always be attentive and listen to whatever instructions or communication someone is giving us or information someone is giving us. Apart from that, we should master our verbal communication, that is a spoken language, how we communicate with others. Some of us are very cheeky. Sometimes you ask questions and then they will give you cheeky answers. And in your career progression, for instance, if your boss has given you an assignment and then he's asking you, have you finished or have you completed the assignment? You don't know that I have completed it. You know, it is not a very good communication skills that can maintain us in our job. And if we are looking for the job, how do we communicate so that people will think that, in fact, we need to employ this person? So communication skills are very important and it is key to our growth and our development. So we should take notes. Apart from verbal communication, we also have non-verbal communication. And it includes, we know how, or we know what entails in non-verbal communication. We'll delve into detail with it. And then written communication. Yes.
Joyce, sorry for interruption again. Kindly, can we have the presentation on slide, the slides on presentation mode?
I'm not able to navigate, please. Let me manage like this. We are listening.
Okay.
When I went to the slide mode, I was not able to navigate.
Okay. So, but I guess the students can see, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. So we need written communication skills and then presentation skills. So let's look at them. So the second is leadership. One of the most important soft skills that we need in our career progression is leadership. Sometimes we think that I'm just a junior staff. So what am I what do I have to do with leadership? My bosses are there, so I'm sure I don't need that kind of attributes. But leadership skills are very, very important in our career progression and our job search. If you write your CV, we need these soft skills to enriching our CVs to be able to sell ourselves to employers. So for instance, on your CV, you say you have good communication skills, you have others, but a leader, everybody must be a leader because you can one day become a leader. So you should have leadership skills. That is why sometimes in our junior secondary schools or our lower schools, the vocal people always contest for leadership position, but it is very essential in our career progression. So we need to try and have that leadership skills. So in leadership skills, what are the main things? What are some of the examples in leadership skills? You should have problem-solving skills. You should be able to solve problems. For instance, you have issues with your colleague. How do you handle it? How do you solve it? You have issues, you have problems. How do you solve it? Then we should have coaching or mentoring skills. We are running this program. How did we, what are we doing? We are trying to coach people. We are trying to mentor people to also have the skills and be on their own, be independent. Or also one day, probably they can also mentor others. So coaching or mentoring skills is very important when it comes to leadership. And then management. Some leaders cannot manage. There's a difference between management and leadership. Some have very good leadership skills, but they don't have management skills. So they are not the same. Leadership and management is not the same. The leader carry out the management processes. So you should have management skills as a leader. You should also be a strategic thinker. You should be strategic. For instance, there is an issue. You should find a way of maneuver in a way that nobody will see that there was a problem. There should be a nice transition. You should find a way to be able to maneuver. That means you have to think critically, strategically, so that you'll be able to handle situations. Apart from that, we also need teamwork. Teamwork. Those with, I don't know how to put it in school, those who are good, those who have, how do I put it? Those who can grasp content very fast. Sometimes they have difficulties teaching others. They think that those people should also understand the issues very fast as they are able to do. And this sometimes can prevent you from getting opportunities. So we should build teamwork. We should be able to work collaboratively with others. So in teamwork, what are the simple skills we need to learn? We need to learn conflict resolution skills. Because if you can manage teams, okay, if you can manage groups, you'll be able to handle conflicts when there are conflicts between the teams. You should also have mediation. Mediation goes with conflict. You should be able to judge issues or mediate and bring peace in the environment where we find ourselves. Then accountability. If you're a team worker, you should be able to be accountable to your team members. And then collaboration. You should be able to collaborate in the team to work perfectly, like what we are doing now. We are mentoring people and we are collaborating effectively because today is my turn of teaching. Yesterday was another person's turn of teaching. The other day was another person's turn of teaching. So we have collaborated nicely. So you see that the teamwork is perfect. Then creativity. We should be very creative. Employers want people who can think outside the box. You have to be very creative. My dean said something when we had a meeting, was it a month ago? He was saying that we think perfectly, or we can think when we are in the toilet. Because that time, you know, you are there trying to get something out, and then you'll be thinking. So whatever thing that you do, you have to be creative. Try to add or garnish some of your work to make it attractive and then attract employers and others. So we must be creative. So in creativity, we should learn brainstorming, imagination, curiosity, experimentation. Sometimes you need to take risk. If you are creative, sometimes you need to take risk to test some of your ideas. So we need creativity in our job search and also to navigate in our career progression. Also, time management. Time management is very, very important. Some of us cannot manage our time effectively. But in order for you to progress, in order for you to succeed in life, you need to manage your time effectively. Those who did economics in secondary schools, we have something called scale of preference. There are things sometimes you want, but there are things you need. So you need to reach them according to your needs. And so you plan, I need this, I need this. The same thing applies to time management. Do the first things first. Try to apportion the little time to activities so that you'll be able to accomplish or meet deadlines. If you are not time conscious, you will always suffer when it comes to deadlines. You have to be time conscious. Time management. In time management, for you to succeed, you have to learn how to planning. You set your goals, you delegate activities, etc. Then adaptability. Let me use the academia as an example. Sometimes there are courses that nobody or some of us didn't study in our lives, but we happen to be in a situation where these courses are in front of us. And then you can't tell us that because I didn't study this course in school, I can't teach. It is not acceptable. So in every situation where you find yourself, you should be able to adapt to the situations. If you don't have these skills, it will be difficult for you to get a good job. Because some of the jobs that we are looking for, some of them are in the villages. People don't want to go to the villages. How would we get a job? Okay, so we need to adapt to situations. So in adaptability, we should be flexible. We should be resilient. We should be growth mindset. And then analysis skills. And then problem solving skills. We should be able to solve problems that comes on our way. We should manage it professionally so that we don't hurt people. So problem solving skills is very important in our career progression or our job search. Okay, so under problem solving skills, we need to be critical thinkers. Now they are saying that we need to reform our education pedagogy to create or to graduate or to train people to be critical thinkers. Now we bring out people who cannot even think. Once what he studied in school should be given to her or him in the workplace. So once you ask them to use the application from the classroom to the job, becomes problem because they can't think. Critical thinking skills is very important. Sometimes you ask, sometimes your boss will be confused. How should I manage this situation? And then he has nobody to support. But if you're a critical thinker, you brainstorm and bring ideas to support that. Then we should be strategic thinkers. We have to be strategic. We should be strategic. We should think within the context, etc. We should also be able to initiate ideas. Okay, we should be able to initiate something, not that always someone will initiate it and you always second to it. And then work ethics. Work ethics is very, very important. We have, in every job, we have different ethics, but common to all of us is punctuality. Punctuality. Today I'm supposed to teach. So I log in around 4 something to test whether everything that I need to use to teach is working perfectly. Then we have to be reliable. Some people, you give work to them, then they mess you up. So as someone in your career progression, try to be reliable. Once you are given an assignment, try that you'll be able to complete on time so that people will take you serious. And then we should handle things professionally. Professionalism is very important in our career search or career progression. And discipline. In fact, discipline is something that is lacking in our institutions everywhere. People don't care. They don't care. Now we've sold our dignity, our conscience. So we don't care. Whatever we do to get money, that is what is important for us. So we need to be very, very disciplined so that when we say yes, it's yes, no is no. We shouldn't be neutral. Then critical thinkers, we should think critically. In thinking critically, we should have analysis skills, evaluation, synthesis, etc., etc. And then conflict management skills. We should be able to manage conflicts. Any questions from this side? Any question? Then we'll continue. If someone wants to ask a question. Hello? Hello?
Yes, we're listening, ma'am.
Hello?
Hello, Auntie Joyce.
Yes. Any
Yeah.
question at this point? Okay, so I'm listening. If you have a question, you unmute yourself and ask the question.
Okay. Hello. Auntie Joyce. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, I want to ask,
Yeah.
what are some of the consequences one will have if he or she is having a absolutely high rank or high profile in hard skills, but lacks some bit of soft skills? What are some of the consequences in the job market?
And the consequences is that if you have, more of hard skills, hard skills are duties that you are going to perform, but you need other days to be able to perform the hard skills. So if you don't, you are not time conscious, you can't manage your emotions, etc., etc. You can't be paid. That means you are not fit for the job. Do you understand it? But if you have, for instance, I'm a lecturer, development related, I know everything about development, but I don't know how to speak. I don't know even how to work in teams. I don't even know how to lead colleagues. Simple assignment that are assigned to me. I have my facts. I have everything. When you said, oh, build a structure or solve malaria programs, I'll be able to do it. But for me to teach people to do it becomes a problem. Do you get it? So you should balance the two, because even in your CV, if you don't have soft skills, they won't even consider the CV at all. That soft skills should differentiate you from others, those who are, other contestants. So if you don't have, you can't manage your emotions, you can't control your anger, you don't have that, I'm not sure any employer will employ you. So it's important to balance between the two. Do you get me?
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
So you need to balance. Normally, they are the attributes. They are the attributes that you put in your CV. And those attributes speaks a lot about you. So for instance, you are an engineer. You can build an LP, but maybe you are supposed to supervise some group of people to be able to build the LP, and you can't do that. That means you can't even manage your own hard skills. You have the idea, but calling people or taxing or delegating responsibility to others becomes a problem for you. That means you are not supposed to even be there. So soft skills are very important, as hard skills are also important. But you need soft skills to be able to maneuver and balance the situation. Are you okay?
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So let's look at any other question. Yeah.
So I follow up.
We should get rich in soft skills and then upgrade our CVs on them.
Yes, but you can't guess. Okay. You can't guess. If you can't control your emotions, don't put it there that I have emotional intelligence, or I have empathy for people, or I'm self-aware, or I have social skills so I can motivate. If you don't have that, don't put it there. Because sometimes during the interview, they can even test you. They can ask you a stupid question that will trigger your anger. And you see, you're putting it on your CV that, oh, I can manage situations, I can do this, I have communication skills, I have leadership skills, I have this, I'm adaptable to situations. They ask you questions and you can't answer. So if you don't have it, don't force yourself to put it there. Okay, you put what you think you have. You can't guess. If you've not been a leader before, you can't lead. Leadership is not only when you were in school and then you hold positions. No, a leader is someone who leads people even in the house. Oh, let's carry this, let's clean here, let's do this way, let's pass here, let's guess here. They are all leadership skills. So it's not only when you were a leader on campus. If you have that skills, it's good, because in your CV you specify that I was a course rep in the year 2024 or 2023, and my responsibility were this. But if you've never been a leader, you should put it and then explain it to suit the situation. I hope I'm clear.
Thank you very much. I'm grateful.
Okay. So can we continue?
Hello, a follow up.
Okay.
There are some people whose hard skills are the soft skills you have. Some of the soft skills you are talking about, like people who, the journalists and also the communication skills is part of their,
yes.
It's part of their hard skills.
Yes.
There are some who are supposed to be project managers, who some even plan programs and all those things. So assuming that person is not having soft skills, is it not an alternative to employ some of these people to also work for you? For instance, if you have a company and then you own it, so now this is, maybe there are some people, I know of some entrepreneurs who don't have these skills, but they have people who are managing those things for them. So what about that? Is that a good?
Yeah, that is why they employ someone. Okay, that is why they've employed someone to manage the business for them. They know they don't have, they are entrepreneurs. They are not going to search for any job. They are rather employing people. So they will require the skills that they don't have, so that you come and complement what they have to manage their business. You get it, like the journalists you are talking about. Under normal circumstances, we don't even show most of our hard skills because it is part of the job adverts, or it is part of the qualifications. So we don't show it. We don't show it so visibly in our CVs. Because I have completed, let's assume, Prince graduated last month with masters in. I saw their something, and then this lady also graduated with a PhD, masters in entrepreneurship. Nobody knows the content of the entrepreneurship you are talking about. And you can explain every details on your CV, but the soft skills must be visible on your CV. And that is important. That is good.
Is related to how we can rate on a scale, these kinds of soft skills, especially that I think there's a bit of emphasis in most parts of our environment in hard skills, even the focus of these, maybe mentorship. I know you do give us these skills, you present to us, you teach us, but it's not easy to master these overnight. And it seems the focus also is to deliver these results, but how they're delivered also becomes a matter of also how the process has been done in relation to do we have these essential soft skills, to get this work done, to deliver the outputs that are required of us. So how do we rate this? How would you rate these?
How do we rate our soft skills level or hard skills? I mean, get you clear.
Yes, please. How do we, for example, rate ourselves? How do we, and also how are you, the mentors, able to assess these skills? Also,
okay, so
where we are, the emphasis normally is on the hard skills. Okay, are you
the
able to
emphasis
deliver
is
this
normally on the hard
assignment?
skills. Okay,
Are we able to deliver these outputs? But the process that has been undergone may not necessarily demonstrate the mastery of these soft skills, that are required for us to perhaps learn, So it becomes a bit of a balancing act, which is a bit challenging, because I know there are people, for example, more on the hard side skills, they have the skills, and then you find the communication is not there. They know the things, but they just choose not to communicate. And then the whole team just goes down because of that. See? So now how do we ensure these skills are brought together so that there's teamwork, there's effective communication in the groups, even in our personal lives or other areas of work, that and how do we handle these issues,
okay,
so that now, because we learn this, but most of us may not appreciate the value of this knowledge and how we can apply it and how we can master this. So how do we track these things, and also as our mentors,
okay,
we assess these so that we make sure that we come out with these valuable skills? Because I know this is the skill that's sort of considered more nowadays, and where we're going in the age of AI and all this technology. Employers are looking more into the soft skills as an attribute that they're looking to consider. Thank you.
Okay, so to answer your question, let me give you, soft skills is very important. Nobody can do away with it. You can't do away with it because the hard skills are those things we acquire from our education. You want to be a computer scientist, and that is the line you took. But the soft skills are not deliberate, or it's not something we consciously study in school. I'm not sure. Anyway, sometimes we have communication skills, few other things to build us, but it is not enough. We ourselves have to build it, and it is important for everybody, no matter your background or your level. Let me give myself as an example. When I completed my first degree and I was doing my national service, okay, we'll go for monitoring everything. I will write report, I will do everything. And then my boss will ask me to present the findings or the report to audience. Then it becomes a problem for me. I'll be begging my boss. So what I did was, no, when I went back to do my master's, I made sure I was the course rep in the class. During first degree, I was not talking. Even if a lecturer mentions my name to answer a question, I'll pretend I'm not the one because I'll open my mouth to talk. Secondary school, it was the same thing. They will beat me before I'll speak. You know, we have people who are like that, but we must master the soft skills. It is very important in our life. We can't do away with it. And so we have to learn it. Okay. For instance, teamwork. In first degree, you have group discussion. One day you also moderate it. Moderate that teamwork. Coordinate it and see how it will go. Then you've learned it like that. Read newspapers, listen to journalists speaking, listen to student debates, also participate in the debate. You improve your communication skills. Try to handle situations among your colleagues. You improve your conflict management skills. Try to apportion your time effectively. You improve it. So everybody must learn it. You can't do away with soft skills. It must be part of your everyday life. If not, you can't manage with only your hard skills. Everybody must. And as I said, when I was doing my master, every presentation, I want to do it. Not because I can do it, because I want to learn how to speak in public. Okay. When they asked me to teach, after my master, they asked me to teach in the university. Even then, not after the master. When I think I was writing my thesis, and then the professor was the pro-vice chancellor of the university, said, we don't have to leave you to go. You must teach. Then I started crying. I was begging. And he has to put by force. He said, if you don't teach, you won't graduate. If you don't agree to join the university, you will not graduate. Why was I running away? Because I have to go and talk. Okay. So when they gave me the appointment, I was calling people. People said, oh, you can't teach. I said, no, I can't teach. People say you can't. But they look at me. Though sometimes the shyness is there, it's not everywhere you can talk like this. But once you master it, beginning you'll feel shy, but when you gather courage or master, you will pick it up. So soft skills are very important. I won't deceive you that it doesn't matter. Soft skills are very important for every individual in your career progression. If you don't have this, forget, you can't get a job. If you don't have this, you can't progress. Because what are you going to do? You have to brief, morning briefing. You have to brief your colleagues, and then you are begging your boss. You have to lead a team, and you are begging your boss. You have to solve situations, and you are begging your boss. You have to lead the whole organization for a meeting, and you are begging your boss. No. So we must learn it. It is very important. So we need to, some are natural. And then for the rating, for instance, when it comes to English language, if it's the way you are going to do demands that you should do it in English, they will give you a scale of 1 to 5. Where do you fall in? You assess yourself. I can speak very well. So I have all the 5. That means you are telling us that you are perfect. When you speak, you don't make mistakes. Perfect. So you have the highest mark. When it comes to writing, writing, sometimes some of my construction is not good. So 4. Then we know that at least You are not too perfect, so we should be able to manage with you. Then so you rate it according to how you measure yourself. That is how we rate the soft skills. But the hard skills, your certificate and your ability will determine whether you are fit for the job or not. I hope I'm clear. You are okay. Did you understand what I explained?
Yes, Auntie Joyce, but how do you, our mentors in this program, assess these qualities for us?
That is why we are teaching you.
So that we can also be able to.
Yes,
assess
that is why
ourselves.
we are
could
teaching
also rate
you.
us, not just the hard part, the hard skills, but also this part, so that part of the assessment.
Yes, we are teaching you the soft skills. You have to practice this. Aside that, you have assignment to do. I think you are going to work in groups, right? Your projects work, you'll be working in groups. That is teamwork. How you can maneuver within the group and come out successfully, because in the group, everybody has his own understandings, misunderstandings, situations, characters, attitude. So if you are able to bring all of you together, put ideas together to produce one document, that means you are a team builder. You can work in teams. You've been able to write. When we gave you the assignment, you said you write 3 sentences explaining what communication is. You've been able to write it. So that means you are okay with written communication. Then we ask you to come and present. You've been able to present to us. That means you can present. You have presentation skills. But we'll come to that. We'll come to that. We are going bit by bit to explain how we can master some of these skills. So as I said, communication skills are very important in our search for jobs or our career development. And then communication, we have verbal or non-verbal communication. And sometimes when this one goes back to ethics, work ethics, I mean the ethics of the soft skill that we just said. Verbal communications are communication that we don't open our mouths to talk. We use our body, or we call it, people say, body language or actions. So some of these actions can do us, and then it can undo us. For instance, we have a body language, and then the body languages explain the situations or the environment or the current state of you yourself, the employee or the employer. If you are talking to someone, they said the person fold their arms on the chest and then looking at you. That means the person is very worried. When he gets you, he won't spare you. Okay, so people interpret our body languages differently. So as in your career progression, you should also learn some of these body languages so that we don't offend or we don't stress. Because sometimes you feel like not talking. You don't want to talk to anyone. Or your boss, in the morning, you went to greet your boss, and in normal circumstances, you go to the office, you greet him or her, and then he smiles back to you. And this day you went there, you greeted, say good morning, you say good morning. That means it's not prepared for communication. And so you must study it. Now, verbal communication skills. You must study it. Body language, gestures, facial expression, touch, tone, appearance, space. We should all know, we should learn the meaning or definition. When someone frowns his face, when you are talking to the person is not interested in what you are saying. That means you have to cut that conversation. And some of us don't even study the body languages, and we'll keep on talking. And then it gets the person irritated. Why is communication important? Or how to interpret body language? You should pay attention to the eyes. So now I'm teaching you non-verbal communication. How will you interpret body languages? pay attention to the eyes. So when you are talking with someone, you look at the eyes. So the eyes will tell you whether the person is interested in what you are saying or is not interested. You have to observe the posture, whether the person is interested or is not interested. Look at the arm position. If he folds the arms on your chest, what does that mean?